atmospheres, and you knew that they were pregnant and flying this much on top of all the fallout that it's in our atmosphere, I mean, how concerned would you be about this baby that she's carrying?
I probably would never talk to her again. It's a question of accumulation, the cumulative effects of whatever her parents were exposed to during bomb testing. They have genetic damage and they carry radiation in their bodies. This is passed on. The genetic defects or mutations, if they're in the sperm or the egg of the mother and father, that's passed on to the children, which would be Kim. So she's carrying the history of her parents' radiation exposure in her body and in her genes. Now, she has been exposed as a young child and into the adult stage to a lot of nuclear pollution from the nuclear power plants in America, to the Chernobyl in 1986, which contaminated the entire world, to the depleted uranium and battlefield nukes that they've been using since 1990, the first Iraq War. And she lives in Los Angeles. I have the graph of the depleted uranium levels in the LA drinking water, so she's got that exposure that she's carrying. And these are all cumulative effects. She's flying back and forth to different countries all over the U.S. Through a contaminated air column, and not only
well, hey, that's
flight crews and airline passengers,
Dr. Helen
to higher levels of radiation because the atmosphere is thinner
Eldicott.
where they're flying.
And Miss Milky. Yeah, so just thought I'd capture that. I don't mean to gross anyone out, but it happens. It's a cat. Yeah, what are you doing to make sure your genes aren't being exterminated? If they aren't already. I mean, all you can do is take a chance and do something and hope that all of your chances at reproduction aren't spoiled and doomed. You doomed to a short, miserable life. Your children doomed. No 1,000 years.
To ensure
Nope, sorry, Christians, no 1,000-year reign.
I wanted to read something briefly about bioaccumulation.
Yes.
To help people understand why people who study radiation are so concerned about this. Bioaccumulation increases the concentration of many contaminants as one moves up the food chain. Beef is much higher in dioxins than cattle feed, and tuna fish have much higher mercury than their marine environment. Radioactive iodine, cesium, and strontium, all beta emitters, become concentrated in the food chain because of bioaccumulation. At the top of the food chain, of course, are humans, including fetuses and human breast milk. In 1963, 1 week after an atmospheric nuclear bomb test in Russia, our scientists observed the magnifying power of bioaccumulation when they detected radioactive iodine in the thyroids of mammals in North America, even though they could not detect smaller amounts in the air or on vegetation. There was already uptake in their thyroids.
That's right, because the iodine is in a gaseous phase, and it's invisible. You can't taste it, you can't see it, and it's completely everywhere in the atmosphere. It's hard to even believe that this disaster has happened, but it's not just one disaster, it's the cumulative effects of many. And it's depopulation with nuclear pollution. Dr. John Goffman said that himself.
This article goes on to say, bioaccumulation is one reason why it is dishonest to equate the danger to humans living 5,000 miles away from Japan with the minute concentrations measured in our air. If we tried, we would now likely be able to measure radioactive iodine, cesium, and strontium bioaccumulating in human embryos in this country. Pregnant women, are you okay with that? Herman Mueller, another Nobel Prize winner, is one of many scientists who would not have been okay with that. In a 1964 study, Radiation and Heredity, Mueller spelled out the genetic damage of ionizing radiation on humans. He predicted the gradual reduction of the survival of human species as exposure to radioactivity steadily increased. Indeed, sperm
cut it short there, and
fertility rates worldwide
there's the link.
have been dropping for decades.
Go watch it. It's a 2-part series.